Good morning, Samson.
Morning, Professor. Hey, Professor, I saw a video. I think it was like a rap video that you guys made. It was really nice.
Where did you get it?
I think it was on the APTS. Yeah, APTS on YouTube. But I think it was the faculty, I think.
Yeah. We are doing it with Dr. Teresa Chai, actually. So, as a faculty, we are asked to join. It was really interesting experience.
I was looking at it. I was like, oh, Professor got some skills, some rapping skills.
You're teasing me. Whenever I look at it, I feel like, oh, it's embarrassing.
Internet, it never disappears.
Yeah. But at least, it's good that I made a great appeal that I tried to be young enough to be connected to young generation.
When I saw it, I go, oh, now I know how Pastor Jun Kim looked like when he was in high school.
No, actually, I wasn't like that. That's why I wanted it to be like this because that's something that I've never tried before. As a pastor kid, what can you do? You're raised up as a good kid, and there are a lot of things that you couldn't do. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Sir
Wow,
June. Good
as you can
morning,
see,
everyone.
I'm in my room right now because my wife is still sleeping. Last night she couldn't sleep at all because she wanted to make sure that I have good sleep. So now I just want to take care of my baby. So please understand me as if I need to go and just feed her, right? Okay. Why don't you just unmute yourself? I cannot hear you. It's okay. So how's everybody doing?
Great.
Good?
Right.
Yeah. All
So
right.
far, so good, sir.
Good. Is there any prayer request as we start this morning? Anybody?
Sir June, can I ask a prayer request for my church members here in Kuwait?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Many of them got infected with
Oh,
coronavirus. Yeah, we
sorry
have
about that.
6 members of the church got infected.
Wow. How is the condition?
Uh, 3 of them is in the hospital because they cannot. The symptoms, it's very hard for them to. It's very aggravating, and 3 of them is at home,
Mm-hmm.
but the symptoms is there, but compared to the 3 in the hospital, the 3 are more worse.
Hey, Romero, what is your specific job as a nurse? Are you taking care of even coronavirus patient?
Yes, sir. I work in the theater, the operating theater, and we have also um cases who are infected with corona. We do operations.
So you are
It's
always
like and some
exposed to the great possibility of getting the infection.
yeah, but thank God. But sometimes my colleague, they know that I have a baby. If they know the patient is a positive with corona, they not let me in
Oh,
if
wow.
the staffing is enough.
Mm,
But If there's no staffing available, then I don't have choice. I just do the proper PPA.
Mm. All right, thank you for sharing. And then really appreciate you for what you are doing as a nurse. And we really admire the frontline nurse. And we will pray, certainly. All right. And anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
Professor Alabaya is not still feeling well, so let us continue to remember her in our prayers. Anyone else? Everybody okay? Okay, good. Let's pray together. Let's pray. Father, we come before you this morning with a humble heart that without your help, we cannot do anything. Even just as we are about to start this new day and new class, Lord, we just ask you for your presence, not only for the time that we are studying, but for every single thing that we do. We need your presence. We need your help, Lord. Especially, we want to just lift up the church members of our brother Romero. Lord, 6 of them are just infected by the coronavirus right now. Lord, we just humbly come before you and asking that you are going to touch their body and that you are going to strengthen them right now. Lord, we want to just pray that although we don't know how long this situation of coronavirus will last, but may your will be done, Lord. And you are going to turn this crisis to a great opportunity for the people to come back to you, God. Also pray for your protection over our brother Romero. And whenever he is working as a nurse in a hospital, Lord, I pray that you are going to watch over him, Lord, and protect him
Yes.
so that he will be staying healthy. Also pray for his family, especially wife, Lord, as she is required to go back to work, Lord, as their baby is still young. Lord, I pray that you are going to even take care of this family, God, and then you
Yes.
are going to help them to be grateful and you are going to even protect the baby, God. Now, if there is anyone who is not feeling well and who needs your
I'm,
strength, Lord, I
oh,
pray that you are
I was
going to
just, I
touch
thought
their
you were
life,
my
Lord.
waitress.
Oh God, we just ask you for your mercy and
Pardon me? Your
grace.
waitress has gone home today. Are you my
In
waitress now?
Jesus' name we pray.
Oh, sure. I'm
Amen.
sorry, but I meant to be out of here
Thank you,
before
Sir
my
Jimmy.
class
You're
abroad.
welcome.
I'm an international student. It just started, so
Okay. Great. Um, Jim, where are you? I cannot see you. Would you turn on your camera, please, Jim? Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, don't turn off your camera. Actually,
Sure, yeah.
as just a kind reminder, it's just such a short, time of class. It's just 1 hour and 50 minutes. I know that I don't want to be really strict. I want to allow you to eat, snacks and drink coffee. But if you really want to pay attention to the class, I want you to stay on focus. If you really need to leave your place, then just let me know. And it's good etiquette. All right. So please make sure that you are ready before we start, so that we don't need to waste our time. All right. Is it clear? All right. Okay. Today we are going to learn another lesson, lesson 12. By the way, I want to remind you of your quizzes and assignment. Have you submitted your assignment given yesterday? All right.
Yes.
So whenever you are given your assignment, then you need to submit it before the class starts on the following day. And that's the rule. And the second one is today I'm going to allow you to take your vocabulary quiz. From what number is it?
81.
81 to 100.
100. Yes.
All right, good. So anytime today after the class, before tomorrow class, you can take it and submit it until tomorrow's class. And then tomorrow you are going to take your translation quiz. I think, oh, Adele, good morning. You are
Good
in another
morning.
place.
Good morning. Good
Well,
morning, doctor. Professor, I'm sorry, but look at.
I understand. No
I'm
problem
sorry,
at all.
Professor, but I cannot. I cannot complete my papers and assignments in a really hot house.
It's
My
okay.
dad's house
Adele,
is very
but
warm.
please understand me that the noise is coming from your place. I need to mute yourself. I mean you. So please, yes. Good, good. Now it's okay. All right. But I cannot see you. All right, good, good. Can you hear me? All right, good. Thank you. All right. Where are we? uh, translation quiz. So how many translation quiz have you taken? 2, 3, 2. Jim, is it 2?
Yes, 2.
Oh, okay, good, good, good. So then that's going to be your third one. Is it really hard, the translation quiz? No? So far it's
Oh,
okay. I know
just trying to
you are so
remember the old ones is the hard part. Like I would study the new 20 words, and then when you try to remember like the first, maybe the old vocab, that's the part that it trips me up a lot.
okay.
Trying to remember like the old vocab.
Okay. Yeah, that's why you need to spend some time practicing, When it comes to the lesson and grammars, it's quite straightforward. So when you are studying together with me or when you are reviewing, it's not really that difficult. But the thing is, when you are taking translation quiz, everything is there, right? So you need to analyze every single thing there. So then it requires a lot of practice. So you need to spend some time. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, I think that's all about the quizzes and assignment. Is there any question regarding your quizzes? Okay, so what we are going to do tomorrow is this. I'm going to give you a short lesson for review before you take your translation quiz tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to spend about maybe 30 minutes in giving you the summary of the previous lessons. And I'm going to allow you to take your translation quiz. So whoever is done, then you can leave. All right, so that's what we are going to do. Is it clear? All right, then let's move on to the lesson 12.
Professor,
Yes,
I
yeah,
have a question. I
all right.
know this is not as loud. I just need to know if our translation, our Hebrew translation is due, but before class tomorrow, right? That's what
No,
that's what Professor Elabaya did.
right.
She
Actually,
opened up.
that's the I kind of normal way, but I'm going to do something new tomorrow. So I'm going to give you a summary of your previous lessons first before you take your quiz. All
Okay,
right. So I'm going to spend
okay.
about 30 minutes before your quiz.
I
So it's
just
not,
wanted to, yeah.
yeah, it's not new lesson, but simply review of your previous lessons. Okay. And they will help
Oh,
you
okay.
for your quiz. All right. Okay. Then let's move on. Give me a second. I'm reading a message. All right. All right. I'm ready. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right. Ethel, I know that you like to do this. Can you read lesson 12? You need to unmute yourself first.
Okay. Okay, Pastor. I will read. I will read.
All right.
Okay. Bayarea, Bayarea, Kal, Hayam, Vayi, Vayimelu, Vayimelu, Yal, um, Fen, Fenei, Fenea, Fenea, Fenea.
All right. Good job. Ethel, just a simple reminder. So two people are waiting for me. Right. Ethel, there is a tendency that you always pronounce ain sound. Here, ain has no sound, unlike yod. So you pronounce this al as yal, so, but it's al. Another one is here, ha-am, but you pronounce ha-yam. So ain has no sound. So please remember that, okay?
May I try it again?
Sure.
Bayarea, Kal, Haam.
Good.
Vayimeli,
Pelu,
Al, the Eli, Al, okay. Femi, Fenay, Fenayan.
all right, good job.
Thank
Good.
you, sir.
All right, let's do it. All right, let me ask you this question. This is shuar. Is it vocal or silent?
Silent.
Answer my question, please.
Silent.
Is it silent?
Yes.
Silent.
Why?
Follows along.
Because patah.
Hatha is short.
Right. So we
Vocal.
have learned about, I think, 5 cases when shuar is vocal. So this shuar is not really applicable to those 5 cases. So in this case, shuar is silent. And one of those lessons was that if shuar is preceded by a long vowel point, then it becomes vocal. So here, pata is not a long vowel point. So it's a silent shuar. So in terms of pronunciation for the first word, I want to say vayar, not le. All right, vayar. Say vayar.
Bayaru.
And this
Vayaru.
one is not kal, but it's kol. Right, always kol. Kol ha'am vayi. What about this shua?
Silent.
It's a vocal. Why? Because it comes
yes, I get it.
under the dagesh.
Yes,
So
I
in
get
this
it.
case, it should be vocal.
Okay.
So you need to go back to the lesson and then take a review. So there are several cases when the shuar becomes vocal. So in this case, it's a vocal. So vai pelu,
Hello.
vai pelu.
Hello.
All right.
Bayi
All right.
palu.
And then al. What about
Al.
this shua? Once again, it comes under
Vocal.
dagesh. So it becomes vocal. So pe ne hem. Penehem.
Penehem.
All right. So vayaru ko ha'am.
Ayarukulham.
Vai pelu al penehem.
Pai Pelu Al Penehem.
Good job. From the beginning, Bayaru ko ha'am, Baipelu al penehem.
바야르 콜 아함 바이펠루 알 페네이햄.
Sharon, you did a good job.
Hey,
Okay.
Professor, where did you get the U sound from on the Vayaru?
I'm sorry? Which one?
So remember the first one that you said is silent Shewa, the
Uh-huh.
Vayaru. So it's Vayaru.
Le.
Oh, oh,
Le.
just Vayar. Okay.
Yeah, bayar. Bayar. Not lu. Bayar. Okay? All right.
바야르.
Today, we are going to talk about missing letter rule, another one. So how many missing letter rules have we studied?
3.
3. So number 1, for what? First, yod verb.
First yod verb.
유드.
The second one was for the hello verb. And third one,
No.
First
Noon verb.
noon verb.
first noon verb. Well, actually, when it comes to first noon verb, it's not really missing letter because it's assimilated. So in terms of the technical grammar point, it's a bit hard for us to consider it as a missing letter rule. But anyway, you can just apply the same idea, so no big deal. But anyway, in terms of missing letter rule, this is the third one officially, but including first noun verb, and that's fourth. So we are going to deal with another missing letter rule for third he verbs. What do you mean by third he verb? The verbs that are taking the he where?
Third.
Yeah, at the end as the third consonant. All right. So today we are going to talk about, I think you have memorized the word la. Is it? Have you memorized? What is it? What is the meaning of the word? La.
See.
Yeah, to see. To see. Right? It's not to see. That the person that is studying at APTS. It's not to see. It's to see. All right? To see. So I think his Tusi's Hebrew name is La. All right, call him La. All right. Anyway, this one is La, and then the third component is He. So it is categorized under third He verb. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. So you understand what do you mean by what it means by first yod and first noon and hello verb and third He verb. Okay. Today we are going to talk about third He verb. All right, and then we do have, again, first noun verbs. I think that's not new, but it's going to be a great reminder of your previous lesson. And we are going to deal with the pronominal suffix. Of course, the most important part is missing letter rule for the third he verb. You ready? All right. How many verbs do you think we have here?
2.
2, 3, 4. Oh, James say, is it V? All right, 2. Okay, where is it? The first one?
Bayar.
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 Bayar. All right. Why do you think this is a verb? Because of a what? Okay. All right. Come on.
Verb conversive.
Verb conversive. So we have a verb conversive. Right. Verb conversive is really good indicator for the presence of the verb. So you're right. And we are going to come back to this one because this is the third he verb. And okay, where is the second verb?
바이페루.
Yes,
바이펠루.
we have another verb conversive here. So let's finish this one first. Okay. I want to try something new here, and I want to see if it works properly. Yeah, you can analyze the second verb first. Can you? Okay, do it by yourself. I'm going to ask you to do it. So I'm asking you to analyze this one, by Felu. Analyze it.
Hello.
Okay. Gonna ask Grace. Grace, can you do the analysis for this one? All right. What should come first in terms of analysis? Root? Grace? Okay, are you ready? All right. Number one, root. And number two, stem. Grace, let's move on. I'm asking you to do this. Root, the stem, and what is next? Oh, I cannot hear you. I think something wrong with your microphone. Can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, right. Yeah, good, good, good. All right. Root, stem, and form.
PNG.
And?
PNG.
All right. PNG is Papua New Guinea, so it's a
Oh,
PGN.
Sorry.
Okay, always confusing. PGN and
Special feature
special feature.
and translation.
Good. Translation. All right. What is the root? Okay, let's do this one by one. Can you see non-root letters? Non-root.
And lamed.
What is it?
Pe and lamed.
So pe and lamed is root letters, you think?
Yes.
All right. So it's a good start. Pe and lamed. But is it really right that you have only two consonants here? Because Hebrew verbs normally have three. So this means we have one missing letter here. Can you guess what it is? You don't know. All right. We have learned missing letter rule. You said it's good that you have these two, pe and lamed, because you know that these verb conversive and yod and then the shurek endings are not root letters. This is a really good start. The thing is, after removing these non-root letters, you have only two remained consonant. Then as I said, you need to identify one missing letter. Then this is the time for you to apply your missing letter rules. So in this case, the first thing that you have to do is to check what kind of vowel pointing you have where under the prefix pronoun. So what do you have? Hirek. Missing letter rule 1 has something to do with zere. If you have zere under the prefix pronoun such as yod, tav, aleph, nun, then zere indicates the first yod verb. So the missing letter is the yod. But here we have hirek. Apart from zere, we have learned another missing letter rule. What is it? If you have kamets under the prefix pronoun, then it indicates hollow verbs. So missing letter is from the middle, and then it should be either holem or shurek or hirek yod. So this is another missing letter rule. All right, and then this is what you have to apply to today's lesson. Another one is if you have this dagesh, then that is the indicator of first noon verb. Right? So if you have this dagesh coming for the first of the two remaining consonants, then that is the indicator of assimilation. What do we mean by assimilation? Because the nun sound is assimilated. I have talked about this, like min means from. Min means from. Sham means, must be sham, not sam. Sham is means there. So when it comes together, when they are coming together, then it's a min sham. It's really hard to say min sham, min sham, min sham, min sham, min sham, especially when you put these two sounds together. Then what happened? This new sound will disappear. So say min sham, 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 bi sham, right? Mi sham. So this nun is not strong enough when it is combined together with another following sound. So that is technically called assimilation. So assimilation always has something to do with nun sound, n sound. Are you following me, Grace? Okay, so this nun is dropped off. And when it disappears, then it left us with a sign, which is dagesh. So when you have a dagesh here, then it indicates N sound, which is missing. It's the same principle here that we are dealing with. Here, the first one should be nun. That's why I called it, this is first nun verb. So when this, you know, napal. Have you memorized this word, napal? Have you? Nafal? No, not yet. To fall. Napal. We haven't memorized? To fall.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. It will appear soon. Because this one means to fall. Fall down. Okay. Fall. All right. So when this first nun verb nafal comes with verb conversive and prefix pronoun, then you need to understand that it is sandwiched by two different consonant sound, yod and pe, and then the nun is not strong enough. So the nun is assimilated to the sound of the following consonant. That's why we have the dageshi here. Do you understand, Grace? So just to remember, I know that you missed some of the previous lessons, so it's understandable that you couldn't really remember or understand things. But now it's a really hard time for you to remember this. So in terms of missing letter rule, if you have dagesh, all right, coming for the first consonant of the two remaining consonants, then that is the indicator of first noon verb. Is it clear? All right. So then in this case, the missing letter rule, probably we may call it third missing letter rule. So if we have dagesh, then it is an indicator of first noon verb. So yeah, so it's napal. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right, good. Then what about stem? Since we have dagesh here, you may be tempted to put PL, right? And then it's always confusing. To be honest, you know, I was confused with this one all the time, because what if we have PL stem? Then what are you going to see as an indicator? Are you following me? Okay, because in this case, in order for this word to be PL stem, then it should take the dagesh in the middle. But in this case, we don't know, because assimilation is taking place. Then how are you going to see indicator between the PL stem and ka stem in terms of the first noon verb? It's always confusing. But when it comes to the answer, especially the knowledge that we can apply to Hebrew 1 and 2, always prioritize assimilation. So in this case, you are safe to put just the kal. All right? Remember, don't be confused. You don't need to put pl. Just to prioritize first noon verb. And then this assimilation serves as an assimilation, not dagesh porte for pl stem. Is that clear?
Yes.
When it comes to Hebrew 1 and 2, just don't be confused. Always prioritize assimilation first. So it's constant. And then what about form then? I cannot hear you, Grace.
Prefix.
Prefix, good job. What about PGN?
3 MPL.
Good job, you're doing good, very good. Because yod together with shurek. What about special feature?
Verb conversive.
Yes, verb conversive, meaning?
And they fall. Fell.
Yeah.
And
Very
they
good.
fell.
And they fell. Very good. You did good, Grace.
Professor, can I say something?
All right, go ahead.
When we are analyzing this verb, perhaps we do not need to just always start from the left to the right. So like, for example, like the word, like when analyzing here, it is obvious to us that like this is a verb conversive, so we can start from there. Then we remove like the initial verb. Then we know that verb conversive does not work with affix. So then like the yod and the final shurek should be the prefix, like, you know, like on form. And then we are left with just two other letters, and then we check the missing letter rules that we know, like then there has to be a missing letter of the first noon. Can we do that this way? That means we do not always start from the, you know, like the root, but we work from, you know, something that we already know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think you got a point. It depends on, you know, which way you prepare. But we always try to make the lesson simple, and then, you know, so that we don't need to be really confused with a lot of knowledge. But it's good that you have already some knowledge there. So it doesn't mean that, right, it should be done that way all the time. So if you prefer to do that way, you are welcome to do it. So you can apply whatever you understand. Yeah, it's acceptable. And then if you think this is better and easier, then you can do it too. Amos, thank you for the comments.
May
So
I
I can
ask
ask a
something,
question.
Professor? Professor, may
Okay,
I
FL.
ask a question?
Yeah.
Professor, I just wondered if the first noon for a missing letter is always in front of a verb or a participle.
I'm sorry, I cannot clearly hear you. Would you repeat
Is
your
the
question?
would the first noon for a missing letter uh, be in front of a verb or a participle only, not nouns?
Why are you talking about participle here?
I'm just wondering if the missing noon is always with a verb. Because some verbs are participles. Or some, I'm sorry, I'm talking, forget the participle, sir. Forget the participle. Are missing noon, first noon, always with a verb? That's it.
Okay, I understand. That's why I asked you, because you use the word participle, then I was confused, trying to understand what you really mean by your question. Right, when you're talking about missing letter rule, then especially it is applied to the verb that we are dealing with. But in terms of assimilation, it's not only taking place for the verbs. As I said, min, sham, when those two nouns, or it's not nouns, but two words are put together through maket, or some combined used as a combined word, then this assimilation can take place. So assimilation is not only for the verbs. Okay? So in that case, the nun sound can be disappearing, but it's not really disappearing, but it's assimilated. That's why it is always living with the dot, right? That's why I don't really want to say first nun verb should be categorized and understood as a missing letter rule, because other verbs like first yod and then hello verb, it's totally missing. And then it's normally changed about points. But in the case of first nun verb, it's not really missing because it is assimilated. The sound is somehow changed of the consonant. So now, if I have to answer your question, all right, you can apply the idea. Generally speaking, it's becoming quite a big issue, because when we are analyzing the verbs, we have to analyze the root letters. But thing is, we have one missing letter. Then that's the time for you to apply this missing letter rules. So again, if I have to answer your question, assimilation will take place for not only for the verb, but sometimes for other combined words. All right, but it's not really the point of what I'm talking about here. Okay, so once again, if I have to summarize it, remember, after removing all the non-root letters, and if you have only two remained consonants, then that means we have one missing letter. Then how are you going to identify it? Then you need to apply this. So the first thing they have to do is to check what kind of vowel points you have under the prefix pronoun. In case of chere, then indicates the first yod verb, and the yod is missing. And then in case of kamet, then we have hello verb, and we have a missing letter from the middle, and it should be either holem or shurek or hirek yod. And then as the third one, if you have the dagesh here, the dagesh, it's not about the vowel point under the prefix pronoun. Today, when we are talking about the missing letter rule, the new missing letter rule for the third verbs, then we need to take a look at what kind of vowel point we have under the prefix pronoun again. But in terms of first nun verb, then we need to pay attention to the presence of dagesh forte. Okay, so if you have dagesh forte here, then that indicates the first nun verb, and the nun is assimilated. So you need to put nun as the first root letter. Is that clear? All right, so Grace did a good job. So,
So can I ask a question, please?
Sure, yeah, Pierce, go ahead.
How does a guttural consonant indicate the nun assimilation rule? Because
I'm sorry?
How does a guttural consonant, because that can't take a dagesh forte, so how does that indicate?
So are you talking about first noon verb
First
and
noon verb, yeah.
first noon verb that is taking the middle guttural letter?
Yes.
Okay,
How
that's a
does that
really good
indicate?
question. I think you can see kind of a lengthening in the preceding vowel point. Normally, when the dagesh porte is required and expected, and yet it cannot come, then there is always, not always, most of the time, we can expect a lengthening in the preceding vowel points. Like the rule that we have studied when we are dealing with definite article he.
Yeah.
And the construction of definite article he is he, pata, and dagesh. So you remember that whenever it is followed by a guttural letter, then the dagesh cannot come. And what happened? Lengthening was taking place. So this is kind of a general expectation. Okay?
Okay.
Good question, Pierce.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Ethel, do you have another question?
Professor, I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. All right, then we are supposed to know this one already. And then just to tell you, the most important part of today's new lesson is this. Okay, after removing non-rooted letters, which are Vav conversive and the yod, we have what? Resh and aleph. In terms of root letter, you're going to put resh and aleph, but it's not complete yet. Why? Because we have one missing letter rule. What is it? So in this case, you are going to look at the vowel point where under the prefix pronoun. So now we have what? Pata. So it's not zere, it's not kamet. So it's new vowel point. What is it? Pata. So the pata indicates the third he. Now, but to tell you the summary of the lesson, you need to know it's not always pata. I want to say any vowel point other than sere and kamets, then that indicates the third he verb. What I'm trying to say is pata and hirek. Normally those two will appear. But not only pata and hirek, but other than sere and kamet. Let me tell you, right? We have dealt with missing letter rule. So okay, after removing non-rooted letters, we have only two consonants remaining, and that means we have one missing letter rule. So we have studied about two missing letter rules apart from first number. Was what? First yod and then hollow verb. So what I'm trying to say is, okay, if we have any kind of verb point other than sere and kamets, then what? That should be the third he verb. If you don't have the dagesh porte for the assimilation. So, but normally, generally speaking, it will appear as the form of pata or hirek. So let me summarize. Today's lesson, especially dealing with the third he verb in terms of missing letter rule, let me put it as the fourth one. Then what do you remember? If you have any vowel point other than sere and kamet, why do you need to exclude it? Because sere indicates the first yod verb and kamet indicates the hollow verb, all right? So if you have any vowel points such as pata or hirek, then that indicates the third he verb. That's the lesson that you need to understand today. Is that clear? All right. So then in this case, what is the missing letter? He, and then it is disappearing from the end, so not from the beginning. So you need to put he here. So don't be tempted to put it in the beginning, like the previous two, missing letter rules. Is that clear? I think we are almost done with missing letter rules. I think no more missing letter rules, if I'm not mistaken. Congratulations, okay? So you are not bothered to memorize a lot of things in terms of missing letter rules, but I'm sure that you will be in trouble. Why? Because dealing with different stems, it's another story. Okay, we have studied the basic patterns for ka stem, but when it comes to nifal, pl, hifil, man, be ready for this journey in Hebrew too. But we can do it. We can do it. I'm not really making you too much scared, but just to be ready. Don't give up. Okay, right here. So that's the summary of today's lesson. So then what about the translation of kol ha'am? So you know that kol means all. Ha'am means what? The people. So as we have talked about, what is the indicator? The indicators of dagesh missing because of the presence of guttural letter like ayin. Because definite article here should be made up of this, right? So this one is not carrying pata and then dagesh. Why? Because the dagesh cannot come for ayin. So what will happen? Ayin will be compensated to the lengthening of the preceding vowel point. That's why this pata becomes kamet to be lengthened. Okay, I think this is not new and you are supposed to understand this. So what is the translation? All the people. Is that clear?
Yes.
And you have a problem here. That's why I love Hebrew. Look at this. This one is what? Let's do this, okay? Stem, root letter. Let's analyze it. So as I said, la, it must be third here. What about stem? What is it? Stem. Ka. And what about form?
Prefix.
Prefix. Go ahead. PGN.
3MSG.
3MSG. Good. Go ahead. Special feature.
Verb conversive.
Verb conversive. And then meaning.
And he saw.
And he, yes.
So.
La means to see. So, so. Why? Because it should be translated into the past. My Leah is crying. It's okay. Your dad is teaching. Be patient. 20 minutes more. Okay. And he saw. All right. What I'm trying to say is, okay, look at the PGN. It's a 3MSG. And here, what do we have? 3MPL. There is no agreement in terms of the subject. So probably you can take these two as if it's two different verbs modifying in two different subjects. But in fact, it's not. Here, what is our translation? Because all the people is the subject. So all the people and all the people, so. And they, what is it? Fell. I means upon. And do you know pene hem? Hem is the pronominal suffix indicating 3MP, 3MP, which means there or them. And then this is panim. But because of this construction putting together, panim is what? Panim. Faces. Good. So pene is this chere yod is the special bridge. What is it? Putting two different nouns together. Have you studied this one before? I think you are talking, I mean, this one was dealt partially as a part of construct chain. So when you have tere yod bridge, then it indicates this A and B. So A of B. And then the function of this tere yod is to make these words as a plural. So you need to put S. Do you remember? We don't know. Then remember this. If you have this bridge, tere yod, all right, putting two different components together, then make them one word and then use it plural form. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. So then this is what? Their faces. Is that clear?
Sir,
Yeah.
Professor, so the sere yod is the same function as the meke. It,
Yeah,
they're
connecting.
both.
Yes, connecting in terms of connecting two different words together. All right, then it carries the same function, but plus makeb is just putting two words together. But here, chereyod need to make it plural. That's another aspect, which is different from makeb. Clear? So then it's a faces. So their faces. You will see that actually panim is a plural word. Is it? Im ending is noun ending for plural, like Elohim. The singular form of Elohim is El. So El Shaddai means El is God. Shaddai is what? Might. So El Shaddai means might God. All right? So singular form is El, but it becomes Elohim. Im ending is always plural. So panim by itself is a plural noun. So panim means faces. It's quite interesting because I think I like the idea. I think in Hebrew mindset, they understand face as a plural because you have a lot of faces, right? Sometimes the happy face and, sad face. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? All right. So you have a lot of faces, but don't be confused. It's always a plural, but the idea is there. But anyway, their faces. So upon their faces. All right. So we are done with the final translation, actually. So what is the final translation once again? And all the people saw, and they what? Fell upon their faces. What I'm trying to say is this. In Hebrew, sometimes it happens that disagreement like this one is 3 MSG and then 3 MPL can take place. But I'm not really trying to say that it should be done that way, but I'm asking you to be flexible because you may be asking this question, why? I don't know, to be honest, but it happens a lot of times. But at the same time, I want to encourage you to be tackling and then to be wondering or skeptical about what other scholars must do. When people are saying, this one should be like, and all the people saw and they fell down. But if you want to really see the possibility that, there must be another group of subject, because, the subject is different in terms of agreement, right? Then if you see the possibility, there is always room for that. Is that interesting? Yes. So that's why I'm saying that there are a lot of things that can be done. And don't think you are just a Hebrew1 student and just consider yourself as a Hebrew scholar already, which means you can start asking this kind of a deep question. And it's really always a good start. Okay? She said, okay. Did you hear my baby crying? I know you can do more. All right, forgive me, I'm noisy. Okay, then let's move on to the individual slide. Since we are done with the lesson, I will move on quickly. All right. All right, I'm gonna just read it. Missing letter rule for the third hair verbs. When any vowel, say any vowel other than sere or kamets appears under the prefix pronoun, the missing letter is at the end of the root and is always the he. Does it sound new? I hope not. So root is a la'a, and then he is missing from the third. Okay. So the pata under the prefix pronoun indicates that it is a third head verb, stem ka, prefix 3 MSG, verb conversive, and he is so. Move on. Nafal, the dagesh here, right? The dagesh in the first letter of the remained two consonant after removing the verb conversive, the prefix pronoun, and the complement indicates that it is a first noun verb, and the dagesh is an assimilation. Don't be confused. Whenever you have dagesh forte, you need to always think about PS stem first, especially when you have 3 root letters, and then the dagesh is appearing in the middle. Then it has nothing to do with missing letter rule. Are you following me? If you have dagesh in the middle without losing any root letter, then that dagesh stands for PS stem. That's it. So when you have the dagesh coming for the first consonant of the 2 remained consonants, that's the time. That's the time for you to apply this idea. So don't be confused. All right. Whenever you see the dagesh, then the Pastor Jun have talked about this today. Then you just to put first noon. Then you may have 4 root letters in your analysis. No. So that's what I'm trying to say. Is it clear? Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay. So after removing non-root letters, you have 2, and then you can see dagesh. Then it should be the first noun verb. But when you have 3 root letters without losing anything, without having any missing letter, then that's quite straightforward. That's just the PS stem. And then put all the, the root letters that you can see as they are. All right, so, okay, here, nafa is your vocabulary list number 109. You will soon appear. So, ka, prefix 3, NPL, verb converse, and they fail. I think you don't have any question here. Can I move on? Okay. So, ka ha'am, this is a kari. The ko ha'am means all the people. I means upon. Pennehem is made up of 2 components, hem and ne. So, hem is the third MPL, the 3 MPL pronominal suffix meaning they or them or their. And penne, the absolute form of penne is panim. I think I already gave you the explanation on this, meaning face or faces. Although I told you the translation of panim is faces because it's a plural word, but it's okay for you to consider it as a singular because, people means many, but we sometimes consider it as a singular. So it works. Okay, like the same way. So once again, if you have panim, then that is absolute form. When I say absolute form, it is lexicon form. When you have construct form, then that is coming for a special combination of 2 different words. And then the first word that is modified by the following one. All right. So in this case, I think when you are talking about construct chain, A and B. So A is considered absolute, and B is called. A is called construct, and B is called absolute. So in terms of the variation, normally construct is taking some changes, not absolute. Okay. So if you have one word that is taking a variation in terms of the form, then you can see, this one might be a construct chain. And then the preceding word is construct, and the following one is absolute. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so here, penne, hem is their face or face. So both will be accepted. Look at this. It's the same. Banim is what? The plural form of ben. What do you mean by ben? Son.
Son.
Banim is sons. Then this absolute form is modified by the following word, then it will not appear as it is. Because as I said, there should be a variation. Do you understand? Like the way how the construct chain works. What did you expect normally? Shortening in the vowel point. When two nouns or put together, and then when those two words are forming a construct chain, then it's not always, but most of the time you can see a little variation on the first preceding component. And most of the time it appears as shortening. So do you remember this? When you're talking about, I know that most of you are really struggling to understand all those indicators of construct chain, but most of the time it works that way. And at the same time, for the plural form, then you can expect, especially for masculine form, then this tere yod is what you can expect. Tere yod as a bridge. For the feminine plural, well, what do you expect? Ot bridge. Ot. Go back to your previous lesson and then you will be able to deal with it. But in terms of the form, bene, banim, im ending is different from tere yod ending. So you can obviously see the difference between them in terms of absolute form and construct form. But talking about ot ending for feminine plural, then there is no difference between them in terms of absolute and construct. And then it only depends on the context. Is that clear? All right, come on. What happened to the joyful Hebrew people, What had happened to you? I guess you are busy, huh? Come on, be excited and just make some noise. Show me that you're excited about this Hebrew language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acha tutin.
Hallelujah.
Achucha.
Dr. Kim, todaraba. Todaraba.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Don't make our what is the circumstance and environment gloomy. The weather outside is gloomy today. It's very cold. Don't allow anything to affect you. All right. Just let your God dwell in you with a peace.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah. Stop preaching, John. Let's move on. Hold on a second. Now, time to introduce my princess, Leo. Leo, say something. Say that your name is a Hebrew name. Can you say something?
Hello, Leo.
Wow, very cute.
Very cute baby, sir.
Leo.
Wow.
Good looking baby, sir.
I think I need to feed her. By the way, let's move on.
Muscle toe.
You can do it. You can do it. It's gonna be recorded as a history. I'm a good father. Okay, we're almost done. Let me okay, so let me go ahead. So here, regarding the usage of panim, I think there is some important idiomatic expression, and then we are done. So this is quite new. All right, I'm gonna ask Ami, could you read the slide, please?
Yes.
Mhm.
Penim is frequently used to form prepositions. This word in its construct form pheni combines most frequently with the preposition le, and it becomes definite. Text page 66. Definite literally this combination means the face of. In its present compound form, this word is equivalent to a preposition before or in the presence of. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Vayadaber Moshe ripane Adonai. Go ahead.
Yes. Indefinite. The preposition can be combined with to form a new preposition meaning away from, the presence of.
Okay, so Vayetche Kain milipane Adonai. All right, here we have studied about panim, but panim, when it is used as a construct form, then panim will become pene. Okay, so when those pene, even though you look at pene, don't panic as if it is a new word, but it is another form of panim. Okay, especially when it is used together with another component, another preposition. So pene means just faces. But when this pene comes together with a preposition li, it literally means to the faces of the following word. Are you following me? So look at this. Ripene Adonai. So you can see ripene will not appear by itself. Why? Because the tzere yod is indicating that it is being modified by the following word. So the tzere yod is bridge. So pene means what? Face.
Face
So faces of
of God,
Adonai, the Lord.
the Lord.
So this one is a construct chain. But the translation, when those are pene is used together with the preposition li, then the literal translation is to the face of the Lord. What do we mean by to the faces of the Lord? Like this, Vayedabar, Vayedaber. What is it? And he spoke. Who is speaking? Moses.
Moses.
So Moses spoke to the faces of the Lord. To the face of the Lord. I know you understand the meaning, but in order for us to, the better translation, we are going to put it as in the presence of or before. Okay, what do you mean by to the face of someone? It indicates the idea that before or in the presence of someone. Is that clear? So if you have lifane and something, then just always translate it as a before something or in the presence of something, not to the faces of something. Is that clear? It's just kind of idiomatic expression. Okay, but you understand how it works that way. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. What if we have ripane and together with the min? Min is preposition from. That's why it is taking dageshi here. It's assimilation. Adele, look at this. This me is supposed to be min, which means from. But the nun sound is assimilated to the following lamed. That's why it is taking dageshi here. It is called assimilation. So the nun disappeared. See? Nun can disappear not only for the verb, but for nouns, even other components like this. So it takes three different words here. What is it? The first one is min, preposition min, meaning from. And then the second one is lamet, another preposition to. And then pene is panim. It's a construct form of panim. All right. So if we look at this, Once again, repene is not supposed to be coming by itself. Why? Because it is always being modified by the following word. It's a connection. The chereyot is a bridging component. So you always expect something is following. Is it clear? So the translation is, what is it? From to the faces of the Lord. That is a literal translation. From to the faces of the Lord. But it doesn't really make sense in terms of translation. So it's idiomatic expression. So whenever you have this mi, li, pne, then you are going to use it as away from. Away from. All right? Do not say from to the faces of the Lord. Okay, what is this? This is yacha. Why? After removing these non-root letters, verb, conversive, and the prefix pronoun, you have tsere under the prefix pronoun. That is the missing letter rule number 1. So the missing letter should be what? First yod. That's why the root letters are yod, tzade, ayin, aleph. So yacha, meaning go forth, to go forth. Right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're right, Professor.
So who is the subject? The following one, Cain. It's Cain. And Cain went forth from to the faces of the Lord. What do we mean? That's an idiomatic expression. So you need to put from, away from, or from the presence of. All right? So the final translation is, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord. Okay? Do you have any question?
Yes, Professor. If going back to the middle, when you had a lamed with the mem, mi, li, kani, if you were to just write away by itself, it would be written with a mem and the missing letter, which is nun, right? So if it was a word by itself, it would be mem nun, which would be mean, because it was assimilated to the lamed. I'm just saying, if you were to write it one letter at a time, no other letters, it would be written as me, mem and nun. That's it. That would be the word away.
Are you trying to say that the absolute form is panim? So it should be coming with the mem, but if you look at repene, then mem is missing. Mem is missing. So in this case, don't try to why mem is missing. It is just that works that way, and that's the rule. So im ending is the plural, masculine plural, absolute ending. But when you have chereyot, and that just indicates absolute form of masculine plural noun. That's the point. Don't try to put too much meaning. So it's very simple and straightforward. Don't try to understand why mem is missing. That's how it just works in Hebrew language. So in terms of the original form, it should be panim. Even going back to this, look at this. It should be panim. And then this one is panim. But when these words are used as a construct in a chain, then this nim should take a variation, change. So what changes? Then this im ending will be changed to chereyot. See? Panim becomes pene, banim becomes pene. So those things are dropping off all ending of mem ending. And then it takes chereyot. That's the rule. That's the rule. Sometimes rule is just rule. It has nothing to do with our understanding. So that's the idea. So I want you to just remember, What really matters is, all right, something happened here. What is it? Oh, why is it chain? Oh, I know. What happened? It's construct chain. Then I need to make it as plural. All right, and then be modified by the following word. So if we have to put everything together, Yaru, and he saw all the people, and they fell on their faces. So the final translation is coming down one more time. One more time. And all the
One
people
more
saw and
time.
they fell on their faces. All right. So your assignments are on page 67, number 2, and 3, 6, 8, 10. I think it is posted on your Moodle. So go to your Moodle and then just check it again. All right. So that's it. Do you have any question? No? All right. Leah, time to say goodbye to brothers and sisters in Christ. Ready? Time to eat. Bye. Thank you for your understanding.
Bye, Leo.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Leo.
Have a good rest and grow fast.
So
Bye. Bye.
the meaning of your daughter is the name of your daughter means
I'm sorry?
to God.
Yeah, for God. For
For
God.
God. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay.